Good afternoon, everyone, and this is Sam from OTG, and we are the distributor of Unitree in Hong Kong. And in this presentation, we will concentrate more about our lineups and what is the relationship between robotics and AI, which is the theme of this whole exhibition. And in fact, Unitree Robotics is a company that was set up in 2016, which is based in Hangzhou, China. While in fact, the development of the track is quite similar with other AI companies or tech companies in mainland China. It's coming from a university project to, in fact, after getting different types of angel fundings, and they further developed it into an enterprise of robotics. And from this diagram, this is in fact taken in their showroom in the second floor of their Hangzhou office. You can see, I've mentioned that the company was set up in 2016. But why was that the first product is started in 2013? Because it's a university project, right? And then after the first X-Dot was launched, and they got the certain fundings, that they have the chance to develop the different types of robot and even humanoid in 2023. And at this moment in our booth later on, you can check out the B2 go-to view the series and G1 robot at our booth at B101. But when is the exact timing that the Unitree Robotics come into everybody's the scope, which is that because they have sent a fleet of the robots that performed in CCTV's annual Chinese New Year late night show with the H1 robot to perform a dance. And from that moment on, and the robotics has already entered into everyone's eyes. But however, far from this performance, in fact, we were the distributor of this Unitree products starting from 2020, because when they are setting up their own booth in the Beijing Robotics Show in 2019. And why in the first place we are bringing the robot dog into Hong Kong? Because some of the universities are using this kind of quadruped robot as a means of their homework or their research topics. Because it is for the dog, as you can imagine, it is a relatively stable platform to handle staircases, to handle different types of obstacles, or even uneven roads. And also, with the weight-bearing abilities, they've got you can put different types of sensor or different types of cameras on it to suit your own purposes. But however, in a manufacturer's point of view, they are doing a mass production of the robot. That means, if you like to have some of the modification, fine, you can do it locally. And that's where we, OTG, or other integrators come into play. For example, if you're looking for a dog that has the ability for patrolling or taking pictures on different curious point POI, we can help on this area. Well, normally, and as this is the robot dog that's come from the factory, if you place them in order. But after you reaching your integrator, there's a few different types of modification that you can do with it. You can play with it. For example, normally it comes with the Wi-Fi module that you can connect with a same Wi-Fi subnet. However, we can further add in 5G modules or other modifications so that to make the remote control the distance more farther. Also, we can add different types of sensors like the 3D scanning cameras, gas sensing cameras, gas sensors, or infrared sensors onto the robot dog to suit your needs. For a while, if some of the dogs have got a very great weight-bearing capabilities, we can also even add a basket at the back of the dog for logistic purposes. Also for decoration, and also you can have different programming for the semi-autonomous work for the robot dogs. Currently, the quad robots are coming in 3 main series, which is the go-to, which is a small dog. While the B2 series is come with the IP rating, which is for industrial use, and the A2 series is going to be available in November 2025, while I can show you a video of it at our booth. For the small dog, because for this little small dog, it can tackle the staircase with each a height of 16 centimeters each. And in this scenario, we are testing a small dog with a gas sensors on the back. It can tackle the staircase very easily. And for a go-to, it has separated into the consumer line, enterprise line, and the autonomous series that carries the Jetson computer, so that you can take in your own programming works to make it semi-automatic. And as mentioned, this is a sample of a picture of the go-to EDU dock, which has got the LiDAR on the top for the slamming, and for the Jetson computer for the communication, for the calculation and computing works on your own ROS2 programming. And also it has got robotic arms by Unitree that you can optionally purchase from them. Well, if you this taking ROS2 as a platform for C++ or Python on further development. While apart from legged robots, Unitree is also providing a wheeled version of the robots that inherit the ability to take on stairs and different kinds of obstacles. But there are some merits of comparing when using wheeled robot and the traditional legged robot. For example, it's less noisy, and if you are got a very long inspection route, and with the wheeled robot, it's definitely more power saving. And also, as you can imagine, if you have got a camera on the back of a dog, when it's walking, the video is always shaking a lot. But if you are using a wheeled robot for your petrol systems, your video taken will be much more smooth. And while some of the payloads, such as the gas sensor, optical air sensors particularly, they are more sensitive to vibrations. For those type of sensors, it's more suitable to deploy them on the wheeled version of the dock. While for the B2 series, in fact, you can see one of the samples in our booth. This dock is built for industrial use, that's why, and it has got a 40 kilogram max payload, and it can attack a continuous staircase of each staircase with height 20 to 25 centimeters. Even though if you got an obstacle which is one step which is around 40 cm in height, you can just climb over it. Also, and it has got the ingression protection rating of IP67. And also it has got a one Jetson computer included, but it is optionally can be added to 3 computers for your own communication or computing needs. While same as GoTo, the full programming documentation for SDK is already available online, and this robot supports ROS2 as a programming platform. In fact, for both the wheeled version and the legged version can attack a continuous staircase. But this one point is that for the Hong Kong local buildings, somehow the turning point is not very spacious. For the dock, it is for the B2 is with the length of 1.2 meters. Somehow it's a little bit difficult for it to turn around in certain corners or in local buildings. And I will explain and I will introduce the mid-size dock later on. But for the B2, not only the raw dock, the Unitree is also supplying the special modified dock for firefighting users. For example, for this B2 enterprise line, they have got included a thermal camera, gas sensing, and a 360 camera, all included, and you can access via one tablet and for the overall control. And that's why when you are, let's say, when a fire just was put off, you would like to inspect what is in-house. How was it inside the area? You can use a dock instead of the real fireman for so that you can have a more understanding of how the situation is inside. And when I talked about the size problem, Unitree is going to launch A2 robot version at target to be in November 2025. For this robot, in some certain senses, is even more powerful than a B2. For this robot, it's also waterproof. It has got can attack a continuous staircase of around 20 centimeters. But however, for an obstacle with a certain height, it can climb up to 1 meters. If you can take a look at the videos in our booth for more information. While for the weight-bearing abilities, for B2 it can bear 40 kilograms weight, and for this A2, And it is smaller, it is less weighty, but it can still carry 25 kilograms and walking around, which is a very powerful design. And let's have a brief conclusion of what's the best way to use quadruped robots. Somehow we are using it to replace the human on repetitive, dangerous, and long-distance scenario. For example, why is the Unitree is providing the inspection solution in mainland China for example, in power plants? Because it's quite difficult for them to recruit staff, especially when they find out that their main daily duty is to walk, patrol 4 kilometers per day. And then for that scenario, and that's why there's a need for, and there's a budget for the Unitree to develop the inspection solution for the potentially dangerous, such as power plants. Also, in the remote sense, we can also work with different types of payloads on the robot. For example, I just mentioned gas sensors, pentel zoom cameras, and 3D modeling tools. While if you're looking for a autopilot scenario, and this is already available by third party or by Unitree themselves. But however, some determination will be required. I will explain more in the next slide. I would like to showcase some of the use cases of the quadruped robot or humanoid robot in Hong Kong. One of them will definitely be some sort of performance works. And this is earlier this year, and this is go-to mimicking line dance. And while the picture on the right showing that the G1 is also attending one of the HKUST's ceremony earlier this year, and in a dinner gala. Well, I've mentioned that the B2 has a weight-bearing capacity of 40 kilograms, right? And for the picture in the middle, it came from a Taishan, which is coming from a famous Chinese tourist spot, but somehow the vehicle access is very limited and cannot access some of the tourist spot. In that sense, they need to use some sort of robot to carry the rubbish back to the vehicle accessible roads. That's why they are using robots. And for the picture in the right, there's a Hong Kong authority that's also trying the similar solutions in Hong Kong. While because of the little robot has got some guest welcoming gestures, and also you can program it with block key programming. That's why they have been using by different types of groups in Hong Kong for the students' training. While some of the local construction firms ask us for help to install different types of air sensors into the robots, so that because they can attack stairs, they can go into confined spaces in a remote manner. But as long as the alarm or if gas sensor is not sounding, it should be safe. But however, if it sound off, if the siren goes off, that means you need to pay extra attention and cautious before entering that space by the human workers. And this is one of our previous projects with the EPD of Hong Kong. We have helped them to install gas sensors on the dock together with the AI training. They have helped the enforcers. For example, they've got a nuance gas complaint. They can send a dog to have the raw data, to have the AI to analyze for them to what sort of air source they would be. For example, they may be from a pig farm, for example, for a sewage. They help the workers from EPD to locate the source and to tackle the problem more easily and quickly. For this, dog help us to win the first runner-up of the government internal competition. And we also went to the Invention Geneva and won a silver prize as well. And for this project, we worked with EMSD of Hong Kong. We installed air sensors in the dock so that we can also tackle different types of confined space. And other from that, the local government agencies like the Fire Service Department also installing the 3D lidars on the dock for in-store scanning. While we are also building a mesh dock for the EMSD. For this, you can take a look of this unit in our booth. For the through third-party programming, you can have the autonomous patrolling system installed with camera system on the dog itself, so that you can ask the dog to patrol around for you in your own estate or other confined areas of your factories. Why did I mention that determination is the key? Because somehow, if you would like the dog to complete a whole circle inside your factory, somehow you may need to have the modification in your premises as well. For example, you may need to install extra APs or intranet for the dog so that it can send the real-time video footage back to the control room, while there may be structural modification for the stand gates involved because, as you can imagine, the dogs cannot open the doors, right? However, you may need to modify them into automatic doors so that the dog can pass through. And feel free to talk to us if you would like to have a autonomous program for the dog to have the inspection systems. And this concludes my presentation, and feel free to find me for chat in our booth. Thank you. Thanks a lot.